I hope you are well. I'm looking forward to experience 2024. I show you a gift, Christmas gift I got. Look at this. Veliki Česko Anglički Slovnik. So I have no more excuses. No more excuses I have. So in 2024, I will have to improve my Czech. And thinking about 2024 and in terms of lessons, I have been thinking about it during the past few days in the concept of softness and hardness. And I want to work on this concept with the students starting now in January, which is in terms of attack, when to attack a technique, thinking about the throw, but it can be applied to any technique. No? There are basically two states where we can apply a technique. No? Let's call it softness and hardness. There's the state where there's this movement, there's softness, where there's space, where you can apply a technique, and the technique can be, it's more likely the technique will be successful. Softness, where there's space, where there's opportunity for us to apply the technique successfully, and hardness, where there's no space, where there's less likelihood that the technique will be successful. Translating into another term will be unprepared and prepared. Imagine when you try to apply a technique on the person and the person is unprepared and is less likely to counter, to defend the technique, or when the person is on guard, is prepared. So you will find a wall there. Thinking about movement, when two bodies are moving, are interacting, there are spaces that are created where there's an opportunity of attack, and this space, this moment can be created by destabilizing someone's balance, by countering an attack, by opening up a space, by changing the relationship in between two bodies. So that's where we find softness, we find an opening for an attack. Otherwise, when you're prepared, when you're stable, when you're strong, when you're alert, when you're focused, your defenses are more effective. So imagine two bodies moving together, standing up, throws. Imagine talking about throws, takedowns. And when the person has a very good base and you get the grips, and the person is strong, the person is stable. If you try to apply a technique there, you will find it very difficult to execute it. So the idea is, how can we find these spots? Can we find these spaces where there's a gap, there's an opportunity where we can apply the technique? And it's related as well to relationship of our technical ability to perform and the amount of energy we are going to need to execute the technique we want to apply. Because you need strength, you need speed, you need range of motion in order to execute a technique. Let's say execute a throw or execute a sweep. You need to use your body. You need to actually physically move the person and take the person to where you to where you want. But then you need to use a technique to apply, to make the person go where you want them to go. So there's a technical aspect, and then you have to use your body and you use your energy. The question is, how can I execute a technique in the most efficient way possible? This is the question. Of course, imagine someone strong, someone there, and you are so powerful that you can get through it and you can still throw the person, you can still sweep the person because you're physically dominant in terms of size or in terms of strength. But then imagine when everything else is equal, same age, same size, same development of motor skills, everything very similar. Then what's the technical knowledge as well, experience, and where is the difference? Where can you make the difference? So then you can make the difference by the finesse, by the quality of technique you can apply. Then is where you actually need to understand balancing, unbalancing, to understand softness, hardness, to understand leveraging, to understand the relationship in between bodies and the angle your body are in relation to the other person, and what options you have depending on how these two bodies interact, and what are the options when it fails as well. How can you follow up with the next technique, with the next attack? Or if you attack and you get counter-attacked, how can you quickly react to it with an appropriate response? These are the things I want to work with my students. Concepts. These are concepts. No? I want to discuss with my students in January, starting from January, and to be practicing it within different scenarios.